Hi, I'm Marguerite De Leon, and welcome to a special Rappler Roundtable on breaking the silence against sexual violence. Recently, Time Magazine named sexual abuse silence breakers as Person of the Year, as well they should. In recent months, so many women and men have been coming out and telling their stories about getting sexually harassed by powerful, famous, and often popular people. Women all over the world are no strangers to sexual harassment. Locally, in fact, Safe Cities Metro Manila found out that 3 in 5 women experience sexual harassment in their lifetime. So how do we harness the power of the hashtag #MeToo campaign locally? Today we have 3 guests to help us figure that out. We have Weng Rivera from the Filipino Deaf Women Health and Crisis Center. We have Chang Jordan from UN Women. And we have Hubert Belandres from the Institute of Politics and Governance. So welcome everybody. And today we have an audience here in the Rappler headquarters who will also participate, share their stories, ask us questions. And if you have any stories or questions to share later on, you online folk, just comment here using hashtag #MeToo, hashtag #FreeFromFear, or hashtag #SafeCities. Yes. So let's get started with experiences of sexual harassment. Let's define them first. Rowena, can you share experiences as a person with disability about sexual harassment? Ano pong nangyayari sa inyo on a daily basis as a PWD po na masasabi po pong posibleng sexual harassment?
Yeah. Katotohanan po talaga na ang mga taong may kapansanan ay laging nagiging biktima ng sexual harassment. Hindi lang po mga deaf, pati rin ang ibang may kapansanan, lalo sa mga public spaces. For example, habang nagko-commute, for example, ang nangyari po minsan, pag may nakita sila mga deaf na nagkakwentuhan, nagiging biktima na sila dahil madali na, alam na ng mga tao na akala nila walang boss sa mga to, pwede nating gamitin or taking opportunity to abuse them or sexually harass them, and these are risks that PWDs face every day.
Yeah, it says here, according to the former Philippine Deaf Resource Center, 1 out of every 3 deaf women in the Philippines is sexually harassed or raped.
Yes, that's true po. That's true. This is a big issue, pero karamihan po ng naging victims of sexual violence na talaga itong yung 1 out of 3 na ito. So they're raped more often than not.
Chang, can you share with us a little bit about the UN Women's experience dealing with these kinds of sexual harassment cases?
Well, UN Women has this flagship program called Safe Cities. And for Safe Cities, we are looking at sexual harassment in public spaces. Yes, globally we're talking about this #MeToo hashtag. This really, brought about and revealed the uprising and all these, united voices of women and men coming out to speak up against sexual harassment. And our experience with UN Women, particularly in the Philippines with our program, is that sexual harassment transcends all spaces. We see these powerful men being the perpetrators, right?
Right.
But for sexual harassment in public spaces, for example, sexual harassment or those that are happening when you're just waiting for the jeepney, when you're in the bus, or when you're just walking in the street, you do not know these perpetrators.
Right.
These can be strangers who might be groping you,
Yeah.
who might be catcalling you, wolf whistling you. And so women do not feel safe. And it happens, at any time of the day. In fact, in our baseline study, a majority of the incidents of sexual harassment, especially in public spaces, happen in daytime.
Okay.
So we see that there's still much silence about it, but you can see that it is happening in broad daylight.
Yeah, they're not hiding it at all.
Yes,
yeah.
but we see when we say Time Magazine recognizes the women and men who broke their silence. But still in the Philippines, we observe that there's still that, silence. And people don't seem to really talk about it and to say it is wrong.
Yeah.
And to call out those who are committing sexual harassment. It's so we see this silence that surround women also cause them fear.
Of course. Yeah.
And it also further silences them. Like, we don't have, we seem to lack an environment where women can break their silence, where women and girls can break their silence. And a
Especially
community
here.
and a society that is in itself silent about sexual violence, including sexual harassment in public spaces.
Hubert, can you say anything about, like, as a man, how do you feel about this new campaign where women have been coming out more and more?
Maganda tong kampanya na to. Actually, very challenging. Katulad ko na nangangampanya.
Opo.
Kasi mas maganda siguro unahin ko rin yung nasa paligid ko. Marami rin sa mga kilala ko ay directly nagkakaroon ng hindi nila alam na itong ginagawa nila ay isang uri ng sexual harassment, yung pagpito. So, unahin ko yung mga kilala natin na pwedeng sabihan na mali itong ganitong uri itong uri na ginagawa ninyo. Pangalawa, syempre, yung kampanya namin sa IPG, sa mga barangay orientation, kung saan nagkakaroon kami ng mga orientation sa mga barangay level, ay talagang very challenging. Andyan yung mga barangay officials mismo sa ground na sila mismo hindi alam na yung ginagawa nila, kahit sila ginagawa nila, yung pagsipol ay ginagawa nila rin. And then yung ibang mga participants din. And then nakakalungkot doon yung victim blaming. Yung kung saan mas sinisisi pa nila yung babae o yung biktima na kung anong suot niya, kasi lumabas ka ng gabi. So yun yung nakikita natin dun sa ground na ginagawa, mga opinion ng mga tao.
Embedded talaga sa kultura natin.
Kultura yung yung number one.
Parang normal lang talaga na ganun yung pagtrato sa...
Yes, nakakalungkot at nakakabigla dun sa ganung aspeto.
I think, Margie, we're looking at two things, right? Globally, there's this clamor, this much attention, especially in the US, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And because women are coming forward, we see in Twitter, and we are now at the age of technology. Diba? Social media, we use social media to express our thoughts and to speak up. And we see, bakit sa US, we have these Hollywood personalities, actresses, very famous ones. And of course, the one they're calling out is also even more powerful, right?
Yeah.
And then we feel and we see the support.
Right.
And just recently, we had this press conference in Manila. And some media people were asking us, why are you just following this trend of speaking out against sexual harassment just because in Hollywood it's trending, right? And I see two things. No, one is the silence. Are we really silent about it, or we just want people to be silent about it?
Well, what's the difference?
One is it silent because it's not happening?
Okay.
Or are we silent because we think that it's not something that we should speak up against or we should be talking about, right? So when we say breaking the silence, we say that, why are we not talking about it? Why are people saying it's nothing serious? It's nothing that we should really be calling out?
Or like there are more serious
Parang,
problems?
ang sinasabi nila, for example, in the communities, no, wala lang yon, it's a compliment. And not only men, no, even girls and women also think that way. So we say that they will say, what's this silence? Ano ba yung binibreak yung silence? What do you mean when we say break the silence? It's nothing. So what we're saying also is that two things, it's not something that we should be silent about, and we are not, and it is happening, therefore we should not be silent about it. But on the other end also is, we see that we need support. We need the public to be engaged. We need that much attention. Just like they're already talking about it like a revolution of sorts, no?
Yeah.
This social media movement of the MeToo hashtags. People, women coming out, sharing their stories. It cuts across class, no?
Yeah.
And I mean, it can be a woman who is a waitress, diba? It can also be someone who is in Africa, no? Taking care of her child, riding a bus, and being sexually harassed. It's across the globe, and in the Philippines, this silence that we are really hoping that we can have more support, we can have more attention, more people engaging in the discussion, more people using MeToo hashtag, or kami rin, tayo rin.
Oh, yeah, tayo rin.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like, lumaganap nga tong hashtag, but notably, hindi siya masyadong ginagamit dito sa Pilipinas, di ba? And the repercussions of using the hashtag, we don't really see it here either. Like sa States, ever since the campaign got out, ang daming mga people from high positions who fell.
Yeah.
Who got fired, who had to resign.
Even Uber, di ba?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So these very, very powerful, very rich people, because of a single accusation, they had to resign. They had like what do you call this? There was this culture of shame talaga over the idea na ginawa nila yun sa babae. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, iba eh. It's like you kind of feel that even if you call somebody extremely popular out, walang mangyayari, which is a horrible thing. Yeah, and that should change. How about the audience? May kwento po ba kayo about, I guess,
Sorry. Yeah, if I may add, in the States, if we compare the deaf community there, they're very vocal technically, yeah. They're very open.
Okay.
But here in the Philippines, we don't have that much advocacy. Maybe, well, we have barriers, obviously. People look at us as objects of charity sometimes, and then this makes us less empowered. And persons with disabilities are better left at home, and then the head of the family has to decide for them. So this discrimination happens once, twice, thrice. Then so we don't have empowered people to say this, but I thank this opportunity to be able to voice this happening in the community.
Dagdag lang. Doon pumapasok yung yung hindi usapin dito kung ano natapos mo, yung educational background mo para sa pambabastos, kasi makikita natin yung kinukwento mo nga kanina sa iba't ibang bansa, mga matataas na leader pa ng mga bansa nila, very educated. Kaya hindi dito usapin na yung educational background. Nakakalungkot nga lang dahil dito sa Pilipinas, iba rin naman yung pagtingin dito sa atin. Minsan sa mga profesyon nila, akala nila cool yung pambabastos dahil sa ganitong alam naman natin yung mga nasasangkot na mga banda ngayon, tingin nila permit o yung passes yun sa pambabastos. Pag walang respeto doon sa kababayan, yung profesyon nila. So,
for example, if you're a rock star.
Pag rockstar ka, so yun yung
a given na may groupies ka or gano'n.
Yun yung nangyayari ngayon.
Right. So talagang it's something it's such a complicated issue.
Complicated.
Yeah,
yes.
it's like so ingrained into our culture talaga, but yeah, little by little we have to start realizing that this is wrong and that we have to speak up. So can we go to the audience? Speaking of speaking up, may stories po ba kayo or may questions po ba kayo para sa panel? Anyone? Or how about online? Is anyone
Nothing.
No? Yes. Ay, naka-on ba?
Can I move there or do I stay here?
You need to move.
Ay, bakit po? She can see, but it's okay.
Hello, my name is Matthew from Pinasama SciTag. SciTag means Safe Cities Theater Advocacy Group. Siguro 3 years ago, kung susumahin, katulad din ako ng ibang kalalakihan na hindi ko alam, parang walang alam sa ganong mga gawain, yung pantay-pantay po ba, parang gano'n. Pero ngayon, yung nalaman ko na sumali ako sa mga gantong grupo, nalaman ko na dapat pala irespeto ang bawat babae. Siguro, hindi ko naman inaano na lahat naman ng lalaki. Siyempre, hindi rin po nila alam yun. Parang bibigyan din po natin sila ng pagkakataon para katulad ko rin naman po sila nagkakamali, kumbaga.
It's a manner of communicating.
Yes po.
Kailangan na, parang naiintindihan naman natin na lahat naman tayo, we weren't born perfect.
Yes.
Alam mo yun. Tapos, syempre yung pinalaki tayo, depende din sa kultura ng pamilya nyo or something, or ng your friends.
Yes.
Question lang, what made you decide to enter yung grupo na
Kasi parang paulit-ulit na lang. Parang minamata ka na ng pamilya mo, ng community mo. Parang ang dumi-dumi mong tignan. Now, parang tinitingala ka na nila ngayon, ang bait-bait mo, ganun po. Parang mas masarap sa feeling kaysa yung sasabihan ka, ba't ka ganyan? Ganyan. Baka nga po natukhang din ako kung dati po.
Huwag naman. Okay, sige. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes.
Hello po, ako po si Razal Camposana from Sulong Kabataan Movement Network po. So, mag-share lang po ako ng story na marami po akong, as social work student po kasi ako. So, marami po akong kakilalang mga estudyante na nakaka-experience na ng sexual harassment, mostly in our community. Pero po, parang as a youth, young women, hindi po ganun ka-open up na magsumbong sa dapat na kinaukulan dahil sa wala din pong nangyayari or wala din pong nagsusolve doon sa mga cases na possible na pwedeng ikaso or i-report. Yun lang.
Yeah, marami nakakaranas ng ganyang na parang gusto mo nang magsumbong pero alam mo naman na kahit yung pinaka-higher up yung kausap mo, wala ding mangyayari. Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, let's move on to the next issue, the next sub-issue, I guess. Online sexual harassment. So, the experience online is not any different. Sometimes it's even worse kasi anonymous yung mga tao at because of technology, like pwede kang i-flood ng harassment. According to Julie Posetti, online harassment is a genuine psychological and potentially physical risk to the safety of journalists, in particular women journalists. So, I think I can speak for my team sa social media, team sa Rappler, that we more or less experience this every day, all the time. My particular job is to field comments on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And especially now in this very hot political climate, we get a lot of flack, and usually yung criticism nila is sexist.
Excuse me.
Especially since Rappler is what do you call this? Is mostly female-run news agency. Very misogynistic yung mga comments nila na sana ma-rape kami, na sana, or they talk about the way we look, or sana, so parang they keep saying that, oh, we're men, we're stronger, and we will take you down because all of you are just women and you don't know the first thing about what the truth is. Yun. So, it's really disturbing, and it's very important for any journalist or any woman to step back and realize na this is all just noise, and that they should just focus on themselves. So, speaking of online, meron din yung I don't know if you guys are familiar with yung Pastor Hokage Facebook group. So in case you're not familiar, that's a Facebook group that I believe is taken down now, where men upload women's photos as a contribution to the group. So doon binabastos yung mga babae doon. So Hubert, as our token male guest, anong masasabi mo tungkol sa mga ganong groups?
Doon sa ganong groups na banggit ko naman kanina, na makikita mo doon din na hindi usapin dito kung ano yung tinapos ng mga sa background ng education. Actually, meron akong kilala ay bahagi pero nung nakita niya na pinagbawal na at na TV pa dahil may nagreklamo na mga biktima nung nagpo-post ng picture doon, medyo nag-iba siya at sinabi ko rin naman na delikado yung ginagawa nyo diyan sa group na yan. Mataas din yung nito, inabot na edukasyon itong kakilala ko. Pero yun nga, nakakalungkot na doon, halo-halo yata sila doon na nagpo-post ng mga litrato. Buti naman at natanggal na yung grupo na yun.
Pero kung isipin mo, that's just one of many
groups.
That's another reason I think why it's so parang this kind of sexual harassment online is so popular is when you see yung Facebook group, tapos nakita mo na ang dami, thousands yung parte ng group na yun, iniisip mo, since marami naman sila, ibig sabihin, okay lang naman yun. Or at least marami akong karamay, parang ganun. So, naging
parang bultura na tingin nila okay to dahil marami ganun Parang sa mga may nagsasabi ngayon, pag marami kang likes, ibig sabihin tama yung yung sinasabi mo.
Necessarily the case. Yes. So, okay. Chan, what can you say about online harassment based on your experience?
We see the backlash against women for speaking up. So, right now, we're talking about breaking the silence. But when women break their silence, and when women refuse to be silenced, we see the backlash. We see the retaliation. So again, we're talking about our sense of community, our sense of society, and that tolerate men having that power over women, and for shaming women, and for really we call it desexualization, no? Kaya nga sabi nila
desexualization.
The
sexualization.
The sexualization of women. Like the targets. When women are being targeted, it's usually, there's a dimension of, sexual. Diba? So, that's why we call out and say, this is still sexual harassment.
Right.
No? And we see also na this is a society, especially not only the Philippines, but we're looking at the Philippine culture where I believe that we have a culture that is respectful of women. And I believe that we have a culture where boys and men are being taught to respect women and girls. So what happened? Right? So again, it's also a tricky rope when we say like the victim blaming. Right? So sasabihin nila, first, do women deserve respect with the way they dress, with the way they act? We could have respected women only that they were wearing these skimpy clothes, they were acting this way. Hindi ka respeto. And what we say here is, respect is something you give. And if you're a society, if this is a culture that really, gives value to the family, to our sisters, to our mothers, we should be able to, value women.
Yeah.
And there should be no precondition to that. Parang kumbaga, wag po nating sabihin na, ay, kasi ganun yung damit, kaya nabastos eh. So for example, now in the political arena, when we talk about politics and women, or for example, Rappler journalists reporting about certain, news about political personalities,
right?
They will have their own, group of people to counter, to attack, if I may. No, and we see this happening. And the way, again, women are being attacked, very sexual, no? And we see the abuse of power in a sexual way when women are being silenced. And then it's being said that parang women are being exposed to, kayo nga dyan eh, di ba? Parang ganon. And for example, when we call out catcalling by anyone, sasabihin nila, it's like a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, they will say, you're being used by politics.
Okay.
Right? Kasi you're mudslinging or you're shaming this political personality because you're actually, your motives are political.
Okay.
Right? But on the other hand, they also shame women. Right? Who are, you know, not within their political, not their political allies. So we see that we have to go back and you know, reflect on the values, the culture, and nurture this culture that we have that would be, you know, respectful of everyone, no, of especially of women, and also. Kasi on the other hand nga, this concept na karespeto ba, we want to break that, no? And it should not be the reason why we should silence women. Kasi nga for example, in our rape law, there's what we call rape shield. There's a provision that says you cannot use women's past or history or her story to say na she's not credible, for her to attack her credibility.
Right. Okay, that's good.
So, hindi dapat yun na kung ano ba yung suot or everybody deserves respect. And that's what we're talking about when we say break the silence, because we are not supposed to silence anyone who we think do not deserve respect. No.
Going back to yung sinabi mong the Filipino values women, like yun yung parang base culture natin. I want to like comment on that a bit. How for me, personally, it might be flawed in that kind of valuing of women because they're still valued specifically as a beautiful object, or they're valued as a mother or a sister, or not just, but they're not valued as people. They're not valued as human beings. May specific silang use, diba? And I think that's where part of this culture of sexual harassment stems from. Na ang idea natin of respect is mayroong
standard.
May standard, mayroong requirements na dapat ang babae ganito bago ko siya i-respeto. So, yeah. When, how about PWDs? Sorry, do you have something to say already? Okay, I have a question. Okay, PWDs, they thrive online because their disabilities allow them to communicate more. Has that been difficult in terms of the sexual harassment online, though?
For deaf people, many deaf experience not cyberbullying, also cybersex, are victims of cybersex. This is an issue, but they are even victims of bashing because of the way they write English. When I say victims of cybersex, they're taught na people communicate with them online, and then eventually some are foreigners, they come here, then they become victims of these people they thought as friends online.
Like they'll meet in real life. Okay.
Yes. Well, they thought they were friends online. They introduced each other online. they became friends online, but then eventually when they come here, and these people, the deaf, become victims. There's also and then Um, yes, and of course the deaf, this is easy access for them, for us, and we are victims, we are prey for many, especially who know of our disability.
Thank you, Weng. Our audience, online harassment specifically. Do you guys have any stories or questions for us? Do you have? Sure, ikaw. Sige pa.
Hello, I'm Gigi Lee from Dampa, Damayan ng Maralitang Pilipinong Api. Ang experience ko po is bago lang talaga, last week lang.
Last week lang, okay.
Yes. So may nag-pop up lang ng message, sabi lang sa akin, you want money?
Okay.
So hindi ko naman po kilala yon. Then sabi ko po, why? Bakit mo ako bibigyan? In English po napaka-generous mo naman, ganon.
Okay.
Tapos sabi niya, the requirements is kailangan mayroon kang Skype. Nagmadali po akong gumawa ng Skype, kala ko blessing na. Kasi na-harassment po ako, hindi talaga sa online kasi hindi naman po ako ganun na nag-entertain. Dito, parang sinakyan ko. Sabi niya, di nakagawa po ako agad-agad ng Skype. Di inad ko na po siya. Sa madaling salita, may mga conversation pong maganda. Then afterwards po, sabi na po niya, ang time ko, sandali lang to, sabi niya po. English po yun sabi niya, padadalhan kita pero sa isang kondisyon, depende kung ano ipapakita mo. May price po.
Right.
Kung panunurin ko po siya, ibang price. Nanonood lang po ako sa kanya.
As
Then,
he stated numbers.
yeah.
Okay.
Mayroon po, dollar po eh.
Oh my God.
Then, binubulag ka po baga. Tapos, kung ako na may magpapakita ng ipang ibabaw na katawan, may price po. Pero kung buo, mas malaki. Tapos kung may conversation po, mas malaki. Sabi niya, binigay po niya yung detail ko. Binigay ko pa nga pangalan ko before po nung pati po yung address ko. Pero iniba ko yung address. Play safe pa rin. Yun po. Tapos, nung gano'n na po yung conversation, nagpakita po siya ng dibdib. Inend ko na po, sabi ko, alam ko na po yung ating advocates, di ba? So, parang dun ko pa lang, sabi ko, maganda pa lang may experience ka rin. At least, may share mo rin at the right time po. Dun, ako mismo yung naka-experience ng gano'n.
And I'm sure a lot of people have experienced that din, na parang out of nowhere, kung sino na lang. Or akala mo, friend mo. Like what Weng said.
Opo, tsaka po, kahit po sa mga pictures ko po sa Facebook, hindi, okay lang naman po yung mga pictures ko doon. So sabi ko, saan niya binasihan na I want money? Parang ganun lang.
It doesn't matter what your pictures are Parang it doesn't matter who you are, where your background is, what you look like. If everyone is susceptible to sexual harassment. So thank you. Sige, let's deal with how to deal with the sexual harassment. Like how to address this sexual harassment. Let's move on to that. Weng, you as a PWD in particular, parang what's the best way to report cases and what's the best way to encourage your fellow people in the community to break their silence?
We have NGOs, as in the meantime, we have NGOs who can help the deaf. In our case, we have Philippine Deaf Resource Center, as you mentioned a while ago, and we have Commission on Human Rights also. And there's a process in reporting in reporting these cases, but for deaf people it is difficult because of course we need interpreters or access. We have not enough interpreters here in our country, and it's also difficult if the victim is unschooled, or who could assist them, bring them to the police, because they need the voice. You need someone to relay whatever happened to the person and to do the blotter, the process. For deaf people, it's extra challenging. But we have to teach them, I guess, how to be brave, how to report.
How about you, Chang? What do you feel is the best way to encourage women?
I was also asked earlier in a Yes, an informal conversation. Like, how do we encourage women to report? And to my mind, first, do we have a safe environment for women to
To
report?
begin with, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we want women to come forward, and we recognize their courage. But when there are backlash, diba? They're being re-victimized. So I think it's really important that we have a safe and enabling environment where women are safe to report and to bring their cases forward. And not only that, not just to report, but we should have a comprehensive services, no? Like for counseling, a good support system for the woman or the girl survivor. And with the UN Women, it's always, we work on the structure or on the laws. So it will be the basis, you know. And we have duty bearers who will, you know, fulfill their duties. Like we have we have law enforcement, the police. So kung may mga babae man na harass, marami silang mapuntahan or madali nilang mapuntahan. The police are visible and the police know what to do about it or how to address their complaints. But of course, first it is the decision of the woman or the girl. No, if she feels safe, if she wants to fight for the violation that was done to her, then of course we will support her. It is of course first and foremost what the woman or the girl needs. And reporting does not only rest, or the burden does not rest with the woman or the girl only, no? That's why we encourage the whole community. It can be your neighbor, it can be the guy beside you in the bus, no? It can be a bystander who witnessed it. The burden should not be on the woman alone or the girl alone. So yun ang sinasabi natin. For women to come forward, we need a safe environment for them, and also a good support system, and also we need women also not to feel afraid. No, that's why the hashtag for the program is free from fear. Yes, we are here. Here in this discussion, we have allies, supporters here, and we have especially the police also as our ally. So we want women to feel safe. But of course, we don't know exactly where they are at that exact moment. All we're perhaps requesting or calling for is for everyone to care. Everyone or anyone at all to care. No, and be the one to report the abuse or the harassment that is being committed to, or when they witness it happening to a woman or a girl.
Right. How about you, Hubert? What can men do to support the campaign against?
Ako, bilang isang tatay, may anak akong lalaki na 4 years old.
Okay.
Sisiguraduhin ko sa paglaki niya, titiyakin ko na marunong siyang rumispeto sa kapwa, lalo na sa kababaihan. Ano man ang suot nito, ano man ang itsura nito. So yun yung isang may ko-contribute ko dun sa ano. Then, siguro dugtungan ko na lang yung sinabi ni Chang. Siguro panahon na rin ng isang national law para dun sa safe streets and public spaces. May nakabinbin ngayon yung Senate Bill 1326, yung sa pangunguna ni Senator Risa Ontiveros, na sana ay suportahan din natin na mapasa na ito sa Senado. Ganon din yung sa Kongreso, yung kapartner din natin doon, yung akbayan representative natin si Tom Villarin. So, sana mapasa na yung mga batas na to.
Yeah, there's this data point here na there's a meron na tayong Republic Act 7877 or the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. Tapos, but the problem is it's limited for classifying sexual harassment as something committed in work or education-related environment. So that's so specific. Like it's only school or office. And sexual harassment happens everywhere. So yeah, so that's yeah, may kulang talaga. So yeah, incidents are not done in public spaces, hindi kasama. Tapos hindi doon kasama yung online harassment. So Quezon City then has an ordinance. Diba?
Yes.
But it's only an ordinance. So yeah, so what else is within this national law? Hubert, parang ano yung sinasabi ng law exactly?
Sa public spaces, andun yung bar, mga, ganun pa rin sa mga terminal, proposed law.
The proposed law, sorry.
Yun. Then, meron din naman sa Manila, yung isang ginagawa ngayon sa Manila, yung isang proposed ordinance din, katulad din ng Quezon City. Nakikipagtulungan din dyan yung IPG with UN Women, ay kapartner natin yung City of Manila, yung LGU, para at least magkaroon din ng ordinance habang iniintay din natin na mapasa yung isang national law. So, ongoing yan. By January, alam ko ay second reading na. So, sana masuportahan din ng mga konsyal dun sa Manila yung ordinansa na to.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
The reason why we're supporting Young Women is also supporting the passage of this proposed law recognizing sexual harassment in public spaces is because one, when we look at data right now, we encourage women to report, right? But it depends also on their city or their municipality. Kasi if they don't have like a city ordinance like Quezon City, usually it falls through the cracks. Ibig sabihin, in terms of monitoring or case management, even the police, they wouldn't know how to categorize it. At the moment, we have the unjust vexation and the acts of lasciviousness. So it falls usually under in these forms. And with very, very light penalties, no? Very petty crime.
200 pesos.
200 pesos? Yes, yes. And, and we've seen, and even the substance itself, no? It does not capture the severity, the seriousness of sexual harassment in public spaces. So what we're saying is the law, a national law, kasi it's great that we have the city ordinance, kasi executive yan eh. So they can really parang enforce it in the city. We have the police on the, different, we call it pillars of the justice system, the judiciary, and all the sectors to act on it, but the reach or the jurisdiction, it only applies within that city. So kung naharas ka, halimbawa papunta ka dito sa Rapper Studio,
Pasig.
Does Pasig have a, so a national law has of course a national reach. And if we have a national law, it will also serve as the basis. For example, we have the Philippine Statistics Authority, right? So, when we look at we have what we call the fact sheets on women and men. So, nandito nakalagay yung mga reports, halimbawa, ilan yung number of incidents of violence against women. And sadly, because we do not have yet a national law, so wala dun yung sexual harassment in public spaces. As if it doesn't happen. So, lalo siyang nagiging invisible, lalong nagiging silent yung issue on sexual harassment in public spaces. So, kasi you do not see it in public records.
Paper,
right? So that's why a national law would be the basis, no? It will provide a mandate to different agencies, especially sa monitoring natin, no? Data is very important because how we use the information, no? And it serves, or parang it sends out the message that this is what's happening. And this is how serious it is. Therefore, ito yung mga kailangan ng services or responses. So therefore, a national law really would be a key to having this issue of sexual harassment more visible, and also to really have this parang kumbaga a serious effort, no? From all sectors concerned, especially the government and different departments, to do their part. So, yun yung sinasabi natin. At the same time, even in the absence of, or yung lack of we always give it. I think I've heard there have been good news. Like, I think Baguio.
Baguio.
Yeah, are talking about this ordinance
Ordinance,
now. And
Nakapile.
also Marikina, they're having all these discussions about Marikina being a safe city. So the LGUs, no, the local government units, we see also the potential. No, Quezon City was the pilot city. Just a few days ago, we had the city administrator, Aldrin Cunha, who spoke about, what Quezon City is doing. And in fact, yes, we do hear, no, we have heard about this case against a police officer.
Yeah.
And we see also that now the ordinance is working. Yeah. So we see that there is much to be done, no, in terms of behavior and public consciousness. Again, when we say break the silence, we want everyone to break the silence. You don't have to be a victim, no? And when we see one, you don't need to be like this, a bystander who did not do anything. Again, everybody can do something to break, and everybody can break their silence about sexual violence and sexual harassment.
Let's go to comments from social media. Sorry, Weng, do you have something?
Yeah,
Sure.
if I may add, when we were talking about politics already, and yes, there is a need for laws, and not just national laws, because we have international treaties to which our country is a signatory, and there should be support. It has to be connected to these international laws, like what Chang said a while ago, that if it's national, it's easier to implement. People would follow in just one click. But if it was just city-based, it depends on the willpower of each LGU, and that's not right. We have the UNCRPD, or the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, where we tackle on women's rights. There's something on women's rights as well, and this is an issue. We try to advocate and raise awareness for women with disabilities to be more brave.
Ay, dagdag lang doon sa Manila, maganda rin yung ordinance na inaayos sa Manila, kasi katulong din namin yung law enforcement, judiciary, yung local police doon, tsaka yung mga judges. Tumutulong sila doon sa mga nagkaroon kami ng mga round table discussion sa kanila. So, ano ba yung mga kaso na hawak nila? Nakita rin namin para at least doon sa paggawa ng ordinance ay talaga latag doon sa nangyayari doon sa siyudad ng Manila.
Okay. So let's go first to a few social media comments, and it's from Nikki Luna. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
So,
missed you.
if you guys saw the previous roundtable a few weeks ago, or last week lang ba yun or something, Nikki Luna is a feminist and artist who joined us in talking about sexual harassment, specifically in the Philippine setting. So she says, #MeToo would be more successful if we support the women who speak out and those who share with us privately. We must support them by cutting ties with the perpetrators, but in the Philippines, we continue to stay silent and turn a blind eye and remain friends with perpetrators, just so not to upset personal relationships or even the commercial supply chain. So yeah, I totally get that, Nikki. Na it's hard to speak up about sexual harassers if kilala mo sila. Diba? Like, you know that this person who is close to you is doing something, and you can't speak up, because it might ruin personal relationships, and or B, this person is somebody who can affect your career. Like, for example, if Nikki is an artist, I believe like if she spoke up against a particular famous artist, baka ma-blacklist siya, for example, sa mga events, or it's easy to see it that way. And yeah, so that's a really good point, and we should be braver and see that these things should not hinder us from speaking up, because what is more important is not to protect the harasser, but the one who's being harassed. So, anyone from
Yes.
the audience who has something to say? Yes, yes.
I actually,
Okay na ba?
hello. I actually have a question.
Sure.
I'm Danica from the Women and Gender Institute. I'm also representing Sido Youth. And my question is, how can young women fight back against sexual harassment, especially as it is happening, as
As
we're
it is
being
happening.
touched or as we are being catcalled?
Right.
Also, aside from raising awareness like the hashtag MeToo campaign, how can the youth movement concretely eliminate or at least contribute to lessening sexual harassment and violence?
Those are great questions. Chang, I believe you would be the best person for. While it's happening,
While
while it's happening, so what can we do? Like, how can we speak up while it's happening?
Yeah, I think really because in the baseline study, the reason why women do not report or do not act on it because of this overwhelming fear. So while it's happening, first we also said it in the previous discussion. One is to realize, we say the 4 R's, no? The first R would be to realize. First, to realize that it is sexual harassment, that it is wrong, and that it should not be tolerated. And the second R would be to respond.
Yeah.
And again, for young women who experience it and who would be overwhelmed by fear, they should remember that speaking up against it will also help other women, and that we are now really doing something about it. Us here in the studio, we do have hotlines. Quezon City has a hotline, and we do have emergency lines. And beside her or wherever she is, she can call out help. No,
Right.
she can. Don't be afraid to make a scene. And although, kasi nandun din yung hiya eh, na parang,
Yeah.
ikaw pa yung nahiya, di ba,
Oo.
na bakit nangyayari to, or yun nga, fear and shame. But bear in mind that you are the one who's not doing anything wrong. And that the one who's doing something should be called out and should be corrected, no? So yun ang sinasabi natin. While it's happening, young women, it's not your fault. And while you may be overwhelmed or overcome by fear, remember that you have allies. And we're now talking to everyone. We're now appealing to everyone in social media, or watching this talk or this discussion. Be our ally too. No, we should all be each other's allies. And also the youth movement, young women, men. I mean, young boys. Matthew earlier said that now he feels that, nafe-feel na niya na yung sa family niya na iba na yung tingin sa kanya. Kesa dati yung nagsisipol, kasama yung mga barkada, na napagsasabihan ng bastos. Sabi ni, kanina, akala nila, okay lang yun, cool daw yun. But no, it's not a compliment and it's not cool. No? So, we need role models as well.
Yeah.
From young boys, from young men, from men of all ages. Kaya nga sa UN Women, we have this he for she campaign, no? And we are all allies here. We don't only see, we don't see men as the enemy or the perpetrator. We see them as our allies and our supporter. And together, no? We can, everyone must act together. So, mas yun yung inaano ko.
Going back to what you should do if it happened while it's happening. I have a friend now. What she does is while she's walking to work, for example, may sumipol, ilalabas niya yung cellphone niya. Tapos, pipicturean niya or i-video niya, tapos itatanong niya kay kuya, parang, ano po yung sinabi niya sa akin? Ganon. So parang, syempre you have to develop the kind of courage to do that. Like, not everybody can do that like right away. Pero parang sanayan mo na lang sarili mo na, sige, pag mukhang, for example, minamataan ka na ng person, parang just ready yourself, and if that person says something, just hold him accountable, literally. Yun. Kasi, parang yun nga, I think the fact that women don't speak up while it's happening actually parang encourages men then to do it. Kasi hindi sila sanay na sumasagot yung mga babae, hindi sila sanay na nag-respond.
Kasi there's fear of retaliation eh.
There's
fear of retaliation, there's fear of backlash. Kasi nga, dun mo makikita ngayon. Kasi sometimes, men would also ask, oh, men get sexually harassed too. But more often, we see it's also the men doing the sexual harassment against men. Or when, even for example, you imagine, siksikan sa MRT. MRT is so crowded inside the train. And women usually are the ones who get groped, no?
Yeah.
And for women also, imagine a woman trying to grope or, catcall any man. The first reaction would be, most probably would be, baka suntokin ka.
Okay.
Diba? Do you see talaga the abuse of power that this feeling, this entitlement also from men? We call it the male privilege, no?
Right.
And we're calling it out na, porket you said earlier na, bakit yung respect, or in our culture that values women, or yung the Filipino values that say na we respect women, pero may certain standards, and what we say is, itong double standard. Kasi for example, sinasabihan natin, wag magdamit ng mga,
pa-sexy
medyo
or,
revealing.
right.
But we see men also with their shirts off and, and having this privilege to just take their shirts off without any consequence. And yet for women, diba? So we also have to reflect. Saan nanggagaling to? Diba? You're right. And we see na there's much to reflect on, and there's much also for dialogue, for discussion, and right now we're really hoping that we continue talking about it when we go back to our homes, sa family natin, to our sisters, our brothers, our parents, our classmates, and even when you're just hanging out. Let's talk about it. Bakit nga ba? Bakit ganun yung pagtingin sa babae? Pag hindi ka nakadamit na mahaba or covered yung damit mo, dapat ka nang bastusin. But men enjoy, a different privilege. So that's what we're saying, na it has to change. And while it's happening, let's correct it, Ganun din ako wherever you are. Even in our engagement with women politicians, even in their campaigns, and they get catcalled too. They get all these comments, lewd
lumalabas
comments even.
sila.
Oo. So, sinasabi nga nila na yung MeToo campaign talaga, it does not spare anyone, So, yun nga ang sinasabi natin na let's stop it while it's happening.
Yeah.
And let's send out the message that it should be stopped.
Yeah.
And we should, again, break the silence.
Yeah. Going back again to the youth question in particular, because when you're young, the people you tend to listen to are the people who are around you, the fellow young people. Usually kasi if it's a higher up telling you, parang meron kang apprehension towards authority na, sinasabihan ka lang. But if you're a young person and you know what's what, you have the power to tell other people around you what's what as well. And you have the power to be believed as opposed to older people na feeling mo parang duty mo lang na makinig sa kanya. But pag youth, talagang it really seems like it's coming from experience or talagang paniniwalaan ka because it's a person that you trust and interact with every day in a very comfortable level. So, any other questions or stories from the audience before we wrap up the thing? Yes, sir.
Antonio Abiatas po mula po sa IPG.
Hi po.
Naging part din po ako ng pilot nung Safe City sa Quezon City. Nakakalungkot lang po kasi, dahil sa isa po ako sa mga kumuha ng mga participants before, ay yung may sinishare sila na kapag pupunta sila sa barangay, mag-report sila na sila ay sinipulan, o sasabihin pa nung barangay ay, buti nga, binati ka pa eh. So yung po tatawag natin victim blaming, tsaka yung kasalanan mo kasi yan kasi nagdamit ka ng ganyan. Pero pag tinignan po natin, kahit po sa ginawa namin before, may mga lumalabas po sa ano namin na, kahit po yung mga madre, ay kinakatcall din po, lalo pag po yung madre po daw ay maganda. So, hindi po siya dahil sa kung ano yung damit mo, o kung ano po yung estado mo. Kapag lahat po kasi tamang pasabi ni Miss Chang, lahat po talaga ay prone pag sa catcall. Kaya kung ang kailangan po talaga natin ngayon, hanggat bata pa siguro, turuan na natin ng paggalang sa kababaihan at siya po dapat ay hindi siya, dahil kultura yan, babae yan, dapat pag tingin mo maganda, purihin mo kasi okay lang yan. Hindi po dapat ganun. Yun lang po, salamat.
Maraming salamat po. Yes? Sige. Sige, kayo po muna.
Ako po si Cecil from Pinasama. Ang ano ko lang, sana hindi siya matapos sa isang ordinansa o batas na pang-national. Kasi ayon po sa mga na-experience natin on the past na mga batas, halimbawa 9262, hindi nasisiguro ng batas na tumitigil ang mga kalalakihan para magkaroon ng violence against women. So ganun din yung catcalling ordinance, hindi nito sinisiguro na mababawasan na or may eliminate totally ang pambabaso sa kababaihan. So provision sana ng batas, hindi lang i-penalize ang mga kalalakihang ito, kundi merong serye ng pag-aaral para sa mga offenders na ito, para yung matagal na kinalakihan, kasi yung socialization process ay nangyayari, matagal na. Kumbaga, dahil lang sa isang batas na inilagay natin, nagbago na siya overnight. So, hindi ganun ang tao, proseso ito. So, yun yung gusto kong mangyari. Tapos, yun nga, yung maayos na referral system natin. So, yung sinasabi ni Ms. Chang kanina na safer environment for women, na mula sa community kami, as yung Tampa and Pinasama, as well as yung iba pang organisasyon sa baba, tinatrabaho talaga yan na itong babae ay mapunta sa barangay at mag-report. So, ginagawa natin ang paraan para mag-report. Pero minsan, pag nandun na sa barangay, nakakalungkot kasi hindi nabibigyan ng tamang aksyon. Bagkos, mas nare-victimize na itong mga kababaihan na to. So parang, ayusin natin yung, pag nandito na siya sa barangay, ano ba talaga kailangan niya? Gusto ba talaga niya ikulong ang mga kalalakihang ito? So alamin talaga natin ano yung need ng babae. Bakit siya nasa loob ng barangay? So yun lang po.
Thank you very much. May one more task. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Sigrid, also from IPG. It's supposed to be a comment, but somehow it answers her concern.
Okay, go.
So I think it is important to highlight that apart from putting up the legal mechanisms to address and redress sexual harassment in public spaces, it's also important to change behaviors. And how are we going to do that? For instance, in the Safe Spaces Bill of Senator Risa Hontiveros, part of the penalties for the perpetrators is actually to undergo counseling. So that's a quick answer to your concern. Yeah. So apart from having the legal mechanism, it's very important to actually change the behaviors and change the perspective, not just of men towards women, but also of women about not being scared or afraid of actually speaking out or speaking up against sexual harassment.
Yeah. Thank you. That's great. Hubert and then Weng.
Actually, yung dun sa laman ng bill sa national din sa ordinance. Doon sa ordinance, sa local ordinance ay gender sensitivity seminar na kasama siya. So, cover naman yung concern ni ma'am na may education component din.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Weng?
Yeah, to add yes about it, we have to have not just gender sensitivity, but gender equality, regardless of religion, regardless of SOGI, or if you're from LGBT, because these happen to different people from all walks of life. Information, I think, is the key. We need to let people know that this is happening and it has to stop. then you don't have to be quiet always kahit na nakakatakot. Education in different forms, from barangay level upwards, turuan natin sila kung paano, lalo na kaming mga persons with disabilities, for example, I guess access would be officials, people in public service to knowing how to sign basic sign language.
Right.
So this is access, this is equality and respect.
Thank you. Great. With that, I think we can turn. Sorry,
Could
may
I
isa
have-
pa? Sure. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, I'm Ruth from Pinasama also. Bilang part ng LGBT community, kasi may mga times din na kami mismo nababastos din in public spaces, like catcalling, tinatawag kami mga tomboy, bakla, or kung ano man yung mga gusto nila. Lalong-lalo minsan sa online, kasi marami ring mga, minsan nahahack yung mga account namin, tapos biglang sasabihin na, tomboy ako. So parang minsan kasi iba, di ba, nandun pa tayo sa time na discreet pa yung iba. So hindi pa talaga totally out. Oh, of course ako, out naman na ako eh. So kahit malaman nila, ganun talaga ako. Pero syempre, dun sa ibang part ng LGBT community na nababastos, online man or sa public spaces, hindi namin minsan madepensahan yung mga sarili namin. Although may SOGI na sa QC, pero sa ibang part ng area, like sa Manila, wala namang SOGI. So, hindi namin madepensahan yung mga sarili namin, lalo pag nag-report kami sa barangay. Halimbawa, sabihin namin na nabastos kami. So, parang ang tingin pa sa amin, paano hindi ka mababastos? Eh, ang kilos mo kasi ganyan. And then, dun sa mga public CR, so, di ba, minsan, pagka talagang may mga kasama kami na talagang yung bihis lalaki na, syempre, hindi rin naman sila mag-CR sa mga panlalaki dahil doon pa rin sila sa babae. So yun lang yun yung mga nagiging sa amin, minsan na mga nagiging hindrance din sa amin na although parang iniisip ng iba kasi parang ganyan na nga kayo, parang perwisyo pa kayo, parang gano'n. Hindi naman nila kami kilala personally. So hindi rin nila nakikita kung ano man yung mga capability na meron kami. Kung ano yung pwede namin i-share sa community. Bilang part ng community also ng Pinasama. Andun din kami sa ngayon, nagchat-chatro yung mga youth namin. So, isa ako dun sa mga nag-overseer sa kanila. So, nakikita din nila ng iba't ibang mga tao sa community kung ano yung nagiging part ko dun. So, parang sa akin, nakikita ko yung respect. Pero dun sa iba kasing part ng LGBT community na, hindi. So, parang sa amin kasi, parang isang malaking, parang isang malaking hamon sa amin bilang part ng ganitong komunidad. Sa third sex, in a sense, sinasabi na talagang palawigin tong sexual harassment in public spaces na mahinto. Or hindi naman, alam naman natin na hindi agad-agad. Sabi nga natin, says, hindi overnight na ganon. So, sa process talaga. So, yung national law na sinasabi natin kanina, so kung yung mai-implement talaga, hindi lang sa bawat city, kundi sa buong mundo, may implement siya, hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas. So, yun lang po.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
Question.
go ahead.
Regarding the ordinance, are there tools or measures to make sure that barangays are implementing the ordinances? And if not, are there penalties or punishments for them?
Yung sa ordinance sa Quezon City, implemented hanggang barangay level. Yung sa Manila kasi, nasa committee pa lang siya, so hindi pa siya napapasa. Siguro, baka si Chang yung sa QC makakasagot.
For Quezon City, they're still developing the implementing rules and the regulations or your IRR. So ang titignan nga natin is, once we have the IRR, we will then be capacitating the law enforcement and also the barangay officials to implement the ordinance. So yes, of course, the barangays have to implement it. In terms of penalties for barangays who will not implement, wala namang specific provision for that. But under the Magna Carta naman, we do have a Magna Carta of Women Act that the barangays are also supposed to implement. So all laws in relation to women. So there can be, administrative liabilities for that. But specifically for sexual harassment or this specific provision, wala namang ganun na may penalty yung barangay pag hindi nila na-implement. But ang sinasabi natin, sana no, ma-integrate ito at we are in the process now. Kumbaga, we are in that direction now na we are building the capacities of the barangays para ma-implement nila ng maayos yung ordinance.
Okay. Thank you, Chan. Okay, so I think it's time to wrap up this really great discussion. Let's do one final round of final thoughts on breaking the silence against sexual harassment. Hubert?
Siguro tayo, siguro sa panawagan ko din sa ibang mga nakikinig, no? So, mag-respond tayo siguro doon sa mga nakikita nating sexual harassment sa mga public spaces. Kasi malaking tulong din doon sa naging biktima na lumakas ang loob nila kasi merong nag-respond na kapwa niya na tinutugunan yung nangyari sa kanya. So, hindi man tayo law enforcer, pero at least pag nag-respond tayo, malaking tulong to doon sa mga naging biktima ng sexual harassment sa public spaces.
Okay, how about you, Weng?
Maybe on behalf of like the deaf women who have been victims and everyone else, of women with disabilities, let us not be silent. We support each other. We support the victims, and they should think always that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And so, yeah, we have to be brave, even if it's hard. Speak out, make noise, and just say, and don't say na it's all right. You have to stand up. Thank you.
And finally, Chan?
Yes, before I forget, this is still part of our 16 days activism against gender-based violence. And for the UN, we have the Orange the World campaign. It's like in November 25, no, which is the International Day on the Elimination on Violence Against Women. We are calling out, no. We will have an activity this Sunday, December 10. Globally kasi we have this 16-day campaign. For the Philippines naman, 18 days. Kasi nga, including until December 12, where the Philippines ratified the Convention on Trafficking. But globally, on December 10 is the Human Rights Day, and we are having this activity in the Quezon City Memorial Circle, and we hope everyone will be able to join. It's really more about calling, more on, sama na kayo, parang gano'n. Let's do something about it. Kaya nga, break the silence eh. It's not just on the women, no? Everyone should break the silence. You may have heard these stories from your sister, from your friend, from your girlfriend, or even your mother, no? From anyone. Let's do something about it, no? So yun ang sinasabi din natin sa Safe Cities program. We want a safe city for everyone, but in order for us to enjoy a safe city, di ba, everyone must act together. And especially with men, we're also saying what we call positive masculinity, really having more good role models, no, positive role models for men who are respectful of women and who will call out sexual harassment when they themselves witness it. And when they have friends who are the ones committing it, they will do something to stop it. And yun nga, katulad ng ginawa, sinabi natin kanina na while it's happening, everyone, no, let's break our silence. Let's speak up. Let's speak up for every woman and for everyone. For us to enjoy, you know, a safe place where no one has to live in fear.
And And this is just one discussion of many
Yes.
that we hope that everyone can jump off from.
Yes.
Start the discussion in your homes, with your friends, at work, and we can slowly, little by little, break the silence altogether. Okay, thank you Chang, Weng, and Hubert. Thank you to this awesome audience. And thank you to our online viewers for watching this special Rappler Roundtable. I'm Marguerite De Leon. Thanks again for watching.